Good morning, fellow Malaysians. This is Matthias Chang once again from Future Fast Forward. I'm compelled to make this video because it's obvious to all in Malaysia there's much confusion regarding geopolitics and what's happening in Muslim countries in the Middle East which have an impact on Malaysia. I've said repeatedly my WhatsApp message to all of you on my list and in my video speeches, be very wary of provocation, incitement, long-term strategic planning by the imperial powers of the West in collusion and conspiracy with Israel and some treacherous Muslim countries in the Middle East, resulting in Muslims killing Muslims, thereby giving rise to Islamophobia. Part of the Islamophobia trend is of course the propaganda by the West. But the Muslims themselves, by their stupid, idiotic participation of these evil schemes, have themselves behaved in a manner that arouse anger, hatred, and misunderstanding, most importantly, of Islam and Muslim in general. And I said repeatedly, Islam is peaceful, but over the course of history, so-called believers have distorted, misinterpreted, and by their crass action themselves, they give rise to a wrong perception and misinterpretation of the Holy Quran. Now, I like all of you Muslims especially, and I invite you, right, to strike me down. If every Quran, chapter and verse which I've quoted previously, and I've said many times, if you prove me wrong, I will prostrate before any mosque and apologize to Allah and to the entire Ummah if you dare debate with me and prove to me that I've been wrong. Because in all my reference to Islam and the Quran, I print out the actual surah and ayat to justify what I say, and I don't give my interpretation, I just show to you verbatim the holy revelation to the Prophet, peace and blessing upon him, and for all of us to accept as a teaching, revelation from God Almighty. And yet, despite those qualifications, there are people both within the Ummah and outside, continued inside, misinterpret and misrepresent the Holy Quran. So, I will start with this. Okay? 2 weeks ago, World War III started. Emphasize that. 2 weeks ago, World War III started, and by a miracle, because Allah works in mysterious ways, World War III, before it could go further into genocidal war, rip and plunder of a fellow Muslim countries, that attack was stopped in its tracks by a ceasefire. Okay? Think about that. Huh? And I challenge anyone who dare prove me wrong on what has happened between Turkey and Syria. Having said that, let me now come back. Whether under the Quran, Muslims, true believers, can kill, can injure, can plunder a fellow Muslim. And I therefore invite all of you to consider Surah Al-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 29 and verse 30. These are actual words, right? O ye who believe, eat not up your property among yourself in vanities. That means you don't destroy other people's property, fellow Muslim properties. Okay? You don't plunder, you don't rape. Then it goes on to say, but let there be among you traffic and trade by mutual goodwill. Your relationship with each other in trade, in respect of each other, is by mutual goodwill. Nor kill or destroy yourselves, for verily God hath been to you most merciful. Ayat 30. If any do that in rancor and injustice, soon shall we cast them into fire. As easy it is for God. You understand this? Surah An-Nisa ayat 29. First of all, you must treat with mutual respect your fellow Muslims with respect to their property, their life, their belongings, their possession. If there's any exchange in the course of business or trade, you do so with mutual respect and goodwill. And there is an emphatic, clear-cut injunction. Nor kill or destroy yourself, for verily God has been to you most merciful. And if you do kill a fellow Muslim with rancor and injustice, soon shall we cast them into the fire. And it's easy for God. This is the Quran. You understand? And don't you dare say that what I say is anti-British government or anti-Islam or anti-Muslims. I fight for justice, I fight for the country, and I fight for God, Allah the Almighty. First loyalty, first duty in the Quran is to God, not to any individual or party or government. Alright? So don't try to stir and spread propaganda. Oh, Matthias anti-PH, anti-Islam, anti-Mahathir. Nah. I stand by my ground, I stand by principles. That's why I make my statements today and before in my video address. I'm correct, but they are agent provocateurs, traitors to Malaysia, worms, evil people in the corners of power that misled leadership across both divide, politics and otherwise, and misled our people to believe what is forbidden in the Quran. Okay? And I don't give a shit whether you think I'm bad or good, because ultimately the final judge of my conduct, my behavior, my writings, my speeches will be Allah, not you. Your judgment matters not to me, because unless you can show me your judgment, your conversation, your writing, your speech is founded and based on actual surahs of the Quran or the sunnahs, you cannot come near me and debate with me that you're right. On that, I'm very confident. My faith is unshakable. It's based on the revelation in the Quran. Now, the great Imam, the grand Mufti, I think so. Yeah, the grand Mufti of Egypt. His name is Shawki Alam. Shawki Ibrahim Abdul Karim Alam, the grand Mufti of Egypt, has to say, alright, and you Google please, sir, why Muslims cannot kill Muslims. God upholds the sanctity of life as a universal principle. And do not kill one another, for God is indeed merciful unto you. And he quoted what I quoted from the Quran, chapter 4, verse 29. Islam views murder as both a crime by law in this world and as a major sin punishable in the afterlife as well. Like quoting the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he says, the Mufti, the first cases to be decided among the people on the day of judgment will be those of bloodshed. I repeat, the Grand Mufti of Egypt, quoting Prophet Muhammad, Google this article. Prophet Muhammad said, peace and blessing be upon him, the first cases to be judged by Allah on the day of judgment will be those of bloodshed. Not pornography, adultery, or other sins. Killing by Muslims against Muslims and other people. Those will be the cases brought before Allah to be judged whether you're right or wrong, pardoned or to be punished. This is the first cases. As a lawyer, I'm telling you, God have to prioritize what case to be heard, right? Because cases are limited, the time is limited, right? And yet, the Grand Mufti of Egypt says the first cases to be heard before the judge, the great Allah, on Judgment Day, are cases involve bloodshed. And by the Quran, chapter 4, verse 29 and 30, you can't kill fellow Muslims. Period. No argument. Okay. Period. So that ends my introductory remarks. As a Muslim, as a believer, doesn't mean you call yourself a Muslim, you're a believer. Because Prophet Muhammad says, before he died, he warned the Ummah. Dulu, previously, the world was divided into 72 sects or factions. Pada zaman Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, there will be now 73 factions or sects to divide the Ummah and Islam. But ultimately on Judgment Day, satu saja, one faction will survive out of the 73. One, the correct one, the true one. And the companions asked Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, who is this faction or sect? Prophet Muhammad did not give any name, but just say, those who follow the Quran and the Sunnah will be judged by Allah to be the correct faction or sect as true believers. The other 72, by whatever name, by whatever preaching, will be adjudged as non-believers, scoundrels, unbelievers. Okay? This is what I've heard. Google what Prophet Muhammad said, right? From Sunnahs, from the Hadith, what have you. So when I say, why is Muslim countries killing each other? Saladin, I told you before many times, was the great leader who came from a family of Kurds that defeated the Crusades. He was the Alexander the Great of Greece equivalent in Islam. And today, right, the Kurds, the Muslims, are being abandoned, abused, tortured, made use of. And I said in my previous video, in a Sykes-Picot agreement, before the end of World War I, the Masaleh, the English colonial power and the French, upon the defeat of Turkey, the Ottoman Empire, we will redraw the entire map of Middle East. The Kurdish people is a nation of 35 million people. They were in existence in the Middle East long before those Bedouins, the uncivilized, the uncultured Bedouins. Okay. How come, with such a powerful race and the number they had, more than many states in the Middle East, didn't have a different country? The British and the French, right, carved out Lebanon, Syria, Kuwait, Iraq, Greater Jordan, Palestine, and Yemen, what have you. But Kurds, no nation. But Kurds were scattered, right, in parts of Turkey, parts of Iraq, parts of Syria, Afghanistan, the line. Why? Ask yourself, for heaven's sake, why? Why divide them into smaller patches scattered all over the world? Because they cannot allow a united, single-minded nation like the Kurds who can fight, who don't compromise on principles. And Saladin, this great warrior of Islam, proved that point. And you are sleeping and have the audacity, the arrogance to curse me, that I'm wrong, I've no right to criticize what's happening in the Middle East. How dare you? How dare you? At least have the courtesy and intellectual honesty to do research and prove me wrong. Otherwise, again, I'm willing to debate with anyone that what I say today and previously, right, is right. Now, more importantly, recently, okay, I posted my WhatsApp, a message, right? WhatsApp message with a video. Debate about the shifting powers in the Middle East. 5 Masaleh. People who are actually in the Middle East, Masaleh, yeah? Americans, who are actually involved in policy making and implementing a strategy in the Middle East. Other 5 soalan, okay, for debate by the Masaleh. No Muslims, huh? All Masaleh. All people from US, imperial power. The first question is Saudi Arabia an ally of USA? Okay. First question. Kedua, is Turkey an asset of NATO? Stop for a while, Muslims. Yes, my video is very long. You better listen to my video. I'm sick and fed up telling you repeatedly. Why would Masaleh, US flunkies who actually implement the policy in the Middle East, okay? One of them said, no, I was involved, I was in Turkey, right, doing all these policies. So why ask the question, is Saudi Arabia a good ally of USA? The custodian of Mecca and Medina, Muslim country, Islamic country. The question, is Saudi Arabia an ally atau musuh? They agreed, ally. Hey, think lah. Put a thing in cap. Ally of USA. And then say also ally of Israel. Oi, you bodoh kah? Huh? Otak tak ada otak-otak. Then these are 5 orang experts, you know. And they say Saudi Arabia is a good ally of USA. They're barking dog, hound dog, whatever, a bouncer for USA in the Middle East with Israel. Then, ask yourself the question. They pose this debate. Is Turkey an asset of NATO? Ask yourself, why would, of all the Muslim countries in the world, NATO is member, Turkey is member of NATO. Why not Saudi Arabia or Syria? Huh? And under the treaty of NATO, if anybody attack one country, every member of NATO will have to come to the aid of the country under attack by a non-member of NATO. Muslim country. Why? Ask one more question. 2 videos ago, right? Almost a month ago, I told you in my video, right? Before the Iraq War in 2003, General Wesley Clark, Supreme Allied Commander of NATO before he retired, was Supreme Commander, one day went to the Pentagon to see Rumsfeld, Defense Secretary, and Wolfis, his assistant. Lepas itu meeting, dia turun, right, and saw a general, and the general told Wesley Clark, he says, I quote again, the general told him, excited, this is a memo that describes how we are going to take out 7 countries in 5 years. Semua Muslim, starting with Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, then lastly Iran. Faham tak? 7 negara nak sapu, destroy. What is missing? Come on, what is missing? Are you blind? I give you 7 names, right? 7 to be destroyed, starting with Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finally Iran. All Muslims. Kenapa tak mention Turkey? Kenapa tak mention Turkey? Wake up! Numbskulls dikempus. Because it's NATO, isn't it? You remember NATO? NATO is the military alliance. The killing arm of the European powers and US power and British. The killing arm, understand? The gangsters. Right? The bouncers. Would they kill the bouncers? No. They serve a useful purpose. And then they said, yes. In the debate, semua bersetuju. Turkey is an asset of NATO. Tak boleh hilang ini, itu negara ini member, must keep this member. Alright? Align with NATO. So why did, all of a sudden, Turkey want to invade Syria, a fellow Muslim countries? Who was the provocateur? Who was the agent provocateur? Alright? What made him do that? I pause here for a while. Now I go back to history. You know, in 1991, the first invasion of Iraq, see, after the war between 2 Muslim countries, Iraq and Iran, Sunni and Shia, 8 years now, millions died. Again, Muslims killing Muslims. After the war, ceasefire between Iraq and Iran, those countries were financing Saddam Hussein to fight Iran. And who was behind him? Behind Saddam Hussein? Tengoklah ini gambar, siapa itu? Donald Rumsfeld. Okay? Under President Bush Senior. Okay? President George Bush punya bapa. Shaking hands with Saddam Hussein, shaking hands, understand? Because when Iraq fought Iran, they were doing at the bidding of the US bastards. Faham tak? Okay. Kawan-kawan, no, kawan baik. After the war, when they couldn't defeat Iran, and there's no more money, now suddenly pay Iraq, Kuwait didn't pay. Tapi Kuwait tipu. Kuwait was stealing Iraqi oil. You Google how Kuwait stole Iraq oil. Instead of helping Iraq to pay off his debts, stole the crude oil. As a result, okay, Saddam Hussein was very angry. Bloody hell! I fought for you against Iran. Lepas itu, you curi punya oil, cilaka. So what happens? So Saddam Hussein, okay, met with Kuwait, but Kuwait remained stubborn. So met with the ambassador, US ambassador to Iraq. Okay, this is a picture of the ambassador, Gillespie. This is a picture of the woman, war criminal, right? A bitch. Okay, this is the face, huh? Her name is, okay, April Gillespie. Okay, picture of her and Saddam Hussein. Why? Because Hussein threatens Kuwait over the summer of 1991, marching troops on the border with Kuwait. Gillespie then meets up with Hussein and asks about truth movement. Dalam itu conversation in meeting, okay, you know this bitch, he says like, apa masalah dengan Iraq dan Kuwait bukan hal USA. Ini satu isu, right? Perkara within the Arabs. Indirectly, right? Giving a message, right? Or making Saddam Hussein misinterpret her message. You boleh hantam lah Kuwait. Tak apa. Ini hal lah. Ini perang, bukan perang USA atau UK atau NATO. Ini Arab, Arab. Bedouin. Go and fight. So Saddam Hussein thought USA bagi satu green light. So attack Kuwait. That was what happened. The UN was convened. Whole world condemned Iraq. Withdraw from Kuwait or we will invade you. So Saddam Hussein pun kepala pusing, confused. You give me green light to attack Kuwait. Now you ask me to Kazakhstan? Refuse. Then they invaded Desert Storm. It was a trap. Gillis Gatsby was the Asian provocateur. Okay, right? Fan the fire, kill your fellow Muslims, kill. Don't worry. This is not a US issue. We won't intervene. You kill lah. Your problem. Then what happened? Desert Storm invaded massively and killed so many Iraqis. 1991. Okay? Think about that. Saddam Hussein, who was shaking hands, kawan baik dengan Rumsfeld, all of a sudden treated like a leper and provoked to commit a war crime, invade our country. And everybody, Saudi Arabia, dan lain-lain negara Islam, abandon Saddam Hussein, understand? Get into the thick head. Now let's fast forward. Turkey baru recently give warning to USA and Syria and the Russian. I will invade northern Syria and I will carve a security zone, right, 300 square kilometers, to protect our borders. This kind of concept idea, some Israel down. Zionist Israel. They attacked Syria, carved up the Golan Heights to protect what? The illegal Israeli border. Then they invaded, right? Okay, Lebanon, and carved up an area of security zone to protect the northern border of Israel. Can you see that? The concept security zone of another country to protect your border. And you don't condemn this? We condemn Israel, yes. Betul, we condemn Israel. This is against this war crime, tak boleh. Huh? You can do that, right? And then bully Palestine. We said that. Every Muslim country said that. OIC the line. Huh? You think Malaysia can do that? Can invade South Thailand and say, kita, South Thailand, security zone to protect Kelantan. Alright? Or attack Mindanao for a zone to protect Sabah. Nah. Under law, you tak boleh dah. Tak boleh buat dah. A sovereign country cannot attack another sovereign country to carve out a piece of land and say that is a protection. Cilaka ini. Okay? So, but then something strange, see? In the Iraq war, Bush, keep quiet. Go fight. Okay? Fan the fire. But something strange happened. The moment Turkey told USA and the world we will invite, there was a phone call between President Trump and Erdogan. And people said and accused Trump of giving green light to Erdogan to attack Syria, like this bitch, okay, who actually gave the green light to Saddam Hussein. But when Trump heard that, accused of giving green light to Turkey, you know what Trump said? I did not give a green light to invade. Why would he say that? That means someone gave a green light to Turkey to attack. When he realized it, as a president, having a phone call, he quickly said, no, I never do that. And send VP, okay, Pence, and State Secretary Pompeo to tell them, stop ceasefire. Just like Ukraine, Russian gate was super tipu. Okay? But at least, I don't care whether you like him or hate him. Trump has put on record, right? I never give green light to Erdogan to attack Syria. I'm not Lasby. I'm not like April Gasby to mislead or to make situation whereby Erdogan will misinterpret the conversation like Saddam Hussein. That's why he said, I never give the green light. And then straight away he sent Pompeo and Pence to have an immediate ceasefire. And there was a ceasefire. If Trump kept quiet, as per this woman, this bitch, then we can argue that Trump, by his silence, has condoned the attack. Isn't it unusual? Why do you ask this question, the stupid idiots? Because of your hatred for Trump, you're so blinded by your hatred for Trump, you miss the big picture. Of course, he's an imperialist power, USA. But it's not be so stupid, right? To be blamed for World War III. Because his campaign is, right, bring back all the troops from Middle East. And also because they're down. Mother England, Israel, others have to planned out to destroy 7 countries. And what will be by own Muslim, Turkey, NATO. I told you NATO is the bully, the military arm of the imperial power. Can you imagine the bully of Turkey to destroy Syria as per the plan, right? In Pentagon, 7 countries. So, but God works in mysterious ways, Allah. Trump says, oh my God, why should I be responsible for this genocide in Syria? Even though the deep state, the military industrial complex, their agenda is to destroy Syria. But use Trump as a fall guy, understand? That's why Trump says, no. So who's right? Am I right in my analysis in my previous video? Or some idiots, agent provocateurs, so-called Muslims in this country, who misread the news, who misread history, and fall prey? So, am I anti-Pakatan Harapan? Am I anti-Tun? Am I anti-Malaysia? Or am I right as a matter of law, facts, and politics about the geopolitical situation? This is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I hope those people who have misled Tun will pay a price one day. Karma tau. Karma. Because I've told to many people before, this part of the world, ASEAN, has the largest number of Muslims, not Middle East or China. Here. And do you know that? McKinsey baru keluar satu report, laporan. In the future, because the economy is China, 50 trillion GDP in time to come. Yang kedua, Amerika Syarikat, 34 trillion. Number 3, Japan. Number 4, India. Number 5, Indonesia. Our neighbor, the largest country, the largest number of Muslims. Number 5. It's satu projection down. You think Mastali will sit back and do nothing? Hey, UK is not even the top 5, you know. Faham tak? Germany not top 5, no. Faham tak? France not top 5. So what are you talking about? Do you think they like a Muslim country be top 5? None of the Middle East country, understand, with all the oil. Not even the top 10, understand. Get into your freaking head. Why? Because the Middle East, all the Muslim countries in the Middle East has been destroyed, screwed, plundered, raped, until they can't stand on 2 feet. No future, no. Habis cerita. But thank God, Malaysia and Indonesia is too far away for their games. But they're studying shit now. So in the future, maybe Indonesia will not be number 5. Malaysia not even top 10. Not in the running at all. And we want to play these games, invite them to destroy the largest concentration of Muslims in this world. You must be mad, understand, you Muslims in Malaysia. Apa marwah? Human dignity under the Quran. First, protect yourself first. Protect ummah. Ikut arahan Allah. Don't overestimate your power. Just standing down. None of the Muslim countries other than Indonesia is in the top 10 in the future as economic power. So you want to boast? You want to shout? You're a champion for Islam, for Malays or whatever? You are very stupid. You destroy yourself and in the course destroy our country. Let me say to you, all of you, my warning to you, I record it today, 24th October 2019. If you're not careful, I don't care who, it doesn't matter to me. Because God decides who becomes Prime Minister. We go down this road, Pakatan will not win the second election, 2015 election. And when they fight with UMNO or PAS or BN, whatever, I don't care who is fighting who, and whoever succeeds to the next government, we will be in a mess. We will be screwed up. We will be destroyed, dismembered. I'm telling you. Right? See, you don't read, you see, people. For you, 5 minutes video, shot sendiri, okay. Kalau lebih tau, masa lebih 5 minutes, you tak baca atau you tak watch. No time, because why? You shot sendiri, intellectual masturbation, you can't be bothered. There's a level of your shallowness of your intellect, okay? Nevertheless, given your stupid, idiotic attitude, I still do my research because my audience is not all of you. My audience is targeted to 20 people only who determine the fate of this country. I've done my duty, I put it publicly, the information before the 20 people who decides the fate of this country. If they don't listen, too bad. Okay? Habis cerita. Bye-bye. Okay? That's why I'm doing this. Right? Because I love my country. And I do not want to see Muslim killing Muslims. That's all. But a lot of you sit back, talk and talk and talk, you know. Send me videos, messages, right? Condemn tune and this and that, you know. But the armchair critic don't do anything. Okay? Alright? And worse, they don't understand about government. They complain Tun is a dictator. Dulu, Pharaoh. And now, you know, it's very difficult, right? You know, to control the cabinet. But he's trying to be a dictator back again. You don't understand, okay? About governing, understand? Even before, everywhere in England, everywhere, America, Sharikat, the leader leads. You're not happy, you resign. In a war, the field marshal plan the war and consult. That's all. But it's just text, okay? Okay? Eisenhower, MacArthur, Montgomery, the line. Alright? Same thing, Soviet Union. Stalin. They strategy how to defend the Soviet Union. They lost 20 million people in the war, Second World War. Right? What, you have debate, democracy, when the country is facing a crisis? Right? You don't even know what's going on. And you have the audacity to judge me and say, right, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. My conscience is clear. Alright? Vis-a-vis Tun Mahathir. Okay? Alright? Whether he likes what I say or don't like what I say, I believe he knows I speak from my heart. Okay? Judge! And I know he will consider me, and Allah consider me by my action and by my words. You know why? You want to be racial? Let's talk about racial, okay? I hate to do this, but I'll tell you this. Tun ada, I think, 6 atau 7 scientists politik, including me, I'm the only non-Muslim, non-Malay. All betrayed him. Ingkuman palsu. Lalu Johari Barong. Okay? Tun bagi dia itu kerusi tau. Ingkuman palsu. Then what happened? Huh? People in Ingkuman palsu was bribed to oust Tun Mahathir. Kota Pemuda, UMNO, Ashraf, anak Dato' Dusuki, okay, Operating Secretary, my colleague, dan lain-lain. When Tun was fighting, where were they? None was present. Dan pegawai-pegawai dalam office Tun Mahathir, apa dia buat? What sacrifice? I told you before, right? There were people went to Tun office and say, Tun, when you fight Najib, we will not support you. You are alone. Semua orang Melayu, you are alone. You are on your own. I swear before Allah, this happened. When I received the news, I saw Tun Mahathir. I said, Tun, betul tak? Ada satu masyarakat, dia beritahu you. Tak sokong you, no. When you fight with Najib, you're alone. And he told me, yes, Matthias, I told them this. I really fight alone, no problem. Then I told Mahathir, sir, you're not alone. I'm with you. Two against the whole world. I'm no hero. But I dare say, right, I fight for principles. I stand by my word. When I say I stand by you, Tun, I stood by him. I went to jail. I didn't run away. So smart. You dare have the audacity to cast aspersions? Alright? Loyalty cannot be bought by money. Loyalty comes from Him, Allah. Allah give you strength. Allah give you faith. Allah give you justice. Otherwise, you're nothing, you people. So having said that, let me tell you once again, all of you, right? Things are happening very fast. Right? People are planning violence in this country, one way or another. I don't care how. History times to repeat so many times. People say history don't repeat, it rhymes. No. War goes on and goes on. Every war in the Middle East is incitement by outsider to Muslims to kill Muslims. So what's so strange? If Muslims are incite, provoked to kill fellow Muslims and non-Muslims, because they want to control this world. Apa susah? Huh? What? Am I fantasizing? Am I talking cock and bull? You're seeing with your own eyes what's happening in the Middle East. They tell you, right? They told you in this document, General Wesley Clark. You can watch the video. Hit the video, Google. What did Wesley Clark say? We will destroy 7 countries, starting with Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Somalia, Sudan, and any Iran. No Turkey, okay? No Saudi Arabia. Why? And then the recent debate, baru lah. That's the question. Is Saudi Arabia a good ally of USA? Semua cakap, yes, very good. Tapi ni ya, King Salman itu Crown Prince Salman sisi gila lah. Tapi Saudi Arabia as a country best ally. Turkey, bagus, member of NATO, asset. If I'm a Muslim and someone says Malaysia is an asset for NATO, I'm malu lah. I think I'm dreaming lah, Malaysia, an asset of NATO, a bucking boy, a bouncer for military alliance that's invaded, raped, murdered Muslims and other countries and destroyed economies. Proud? And of course we have a group called themselves the Erdogan faction. Whatever it be, I don't know. So, now, once again, I challenge all of you, okay? I'm the sick and fed of it. I take you on anytime. Even I'm the lone voice, and even if you dare put a gun in my head, between my eyes and say, right, you apologize or I pull the trigger, I will say, F you, okay? You prove me wrong. in a public debate that whatever I say in all my videos, relying on the Quran, my quotation of the surahs is wrong, you prove me in public debate. Right? Okay? And I will go to any mosque and I'll prostrate before Allah and apologize. Otherwise, you prostrate before Allah in the masjid and apologize. Because it's gone too far. Right? I will not allow bloodshed in this country, in any form, by anyone. And some other people get blamed when the real culprits, the foreign powers, the real inciters, the real plotters, get away with help. With that, once again I will say to all of you, we are in a crisis. Therefore, the only person, the only entity, the only spirit that can help us is Allah. Therefore, surrender unconditionally to Allah. Have absolute faith that He will protect, defend, and guide us under all circumstances. This is my belief also. God moves in mysterious ways. And what Prophet Muhammad, President Muhammad says, right? We are now, the whole world is divided into 73. 73 faction atau sect, confusion. But only one redeemed by Allah on the last days to be the truth, the whole truth, and justice. If those people follow the Quran and the Sunnah. So don't tell me, right? No, I'm not here to judge you, no. So don't judge me, huh? Let God judge, okay? And hopefully, in the meantime, conduct ourselves according to the teachings in the Quran and the Sunnahs. Then maybe we can come to an understanding. Otherwise, I'm prepared to fight for my principles. I didn't run away. When Dato' Khalil Hamid Hassan was arrested under source, I didn't run away. No. I'm telling you, many people run away. I stood by. You know why? He's my client. He's a Malay client, a Muslim client. I stood by him. And I told the police officer, I will be arrested in due course. I know, don't bluff me. I'm ready to be arrested. But we have a Muslim leader who says, right, he can't go back to India. He will be killed. You think I can't be killed? India, court system is around the world, right? We cite Indian court cases in our court case in Malaysia. The Supreme Court of India, the line. We cite their cases, their judgments as precedents in our court case here. And he says, oh, there's no justice in India. Hey, the great actor, right? Shah Rukh Khan, Muslim is it? But he's a patriot of India. How come he's not afraid? He's a Muslim. And there are many Muslims, who are judges in the courts. Muslim judges. He says, oh, he will be killed. For what? What's the evidence that he will be killed? He's not committed murder. Alright? The charge is money laundering. Fight! And expose. Alright? How the system was worked against you. As I exposed in my fight. And I was acquitted. I won my case. Even though Najib was in control. Understand? This is how you fight injustice. This is how you fight for truth. As I'm fighting today and previously. With that, I do not apologize for this blunt and direct language because so much shit is going on. And unless I wake you up, alright, and refuse to speak Queen's English, which you won't understand anyway, I hope, inshallah, you understand and be more circumspect, right? And not give in to rubbish. With that, I thank you for listening and I wish you well and all the best for the rest of the day.